The deep dive. You've shared your stack of sources with us, all the articles, the research, and today we're going to cut right through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. Our focus today is on a story that I think a lot of people feel like they already know. It's the parable of the prodigal son from Luke's gospel. But our source material treats this not as, some ancient fable, but as a deeply personal roadmap for every, quote, wandering heart. It's all about rebellion, regret, and this stunning idea of grace.
That's exactly it. And the mission for this deep dive is really to move past the simple Sunday school lesson. We need to get into the cultural context, which honestly would have been shocking to the original audience. We're going to look at the three main players. The younger son, who is all about rebellion, the father, who practices this radical generosity, and then the older son, who kind of embodies this quiet, subtle resentment.
Okay, let's start there, because the story kicks off with an act that, well, to us it sounds rude, but back then it was just catastrophic.
Oh, it was an act of profound relational violence. The younger son comes to his father and asks for his share of the inheritance.
While the father is still alive.
While he's still alive. I mean, inheritance was what you got when someone died. So by demanding it early, he was, in essence, wishing his father dead.
Wow.
He was telling the entire community, I want your stuff, but I don't want you. Your presence, your authority, I'm done with it.
And it's not just about cash, is it? For the father to do this, he has to liquidate assets.
Exactly. That's a critical detail. He's selling off land, herds, parts of the family's entire economic foundation. He's basically taking a huge financial hit and, frankly, a huge public humiliation just to grant this outrageous request.
Which is the first huge paradox. You'd expect the fight, right? Or for the father to say, absolutely not.
Of course. But he agrees. He divides the property and he just lets the son go.
And what does that tell us right at the outset?
I think the first big insight from our sources is this. Radical love doesn't force or coerce obedience. The father allows him total freedom, even knowing that choice is going to lead to immense pain and loss.
So the son gets his money and travels to a distant country. And that distance, it's more than just miles on a map, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. The sources emphasize it's relational, it's spiritual. He's seeking total independence from accountability, from his identity, from everything he was. He's trading his sonship for what he thinks is freedom.
But that freedom turns out to be an illusion.
A complete illusion. He lives wildly, he squanders everything, and then just as the money is gone, a severe famine hits the land.
The timing is just perfect in a terrible way.
It is. The external famine just mirrors his internal bankruptcy. He's left with nothing, completely alone.
And this leads him to what the sources call his absolute lowest point. He takes a job feeding pigs.
And we really can't overstate how shocking this would have been. For a Jewish audience, pigs are the definition of unclean. To take this job meant he was abandoning everything. His culture, his religion, his identity. He gets so low he's actually jealous of the pig's food.
It's the ultimate irony. He leaves home seeking fullness and freedom.
And all he finds is emptiness and bondage. That's the core point here. Rebellion promises everything and delivers nothing.
And it's only in that rock-bottom moment that clarity arrives. The text has that one crucial line. He came to himself.
Exactly. That's the turning point. Repentance here doesn't start with punishment. It starts with memory. With a clear-eyed assessment, he just realizes, even my father's hired hands have it better than this.
So he puts together this speech, this confession. He's ready to own it. I have sinned against heaven and against you.
Which is true repentance. He's acknowledging the full scope of it. But his plan for what comes next is, well, it's heartbreaking.
He's not asking to be a son again.
No. He asks to be made a servant, a hired hand. He assumes the relationship has to be transactional now. I'll work to pay off my debt. He's expecting, at best, a cold tolerance.
But that transactional view of grace is precisely what the story is about to demolish. This is where, for me, it just becomes breathtaking.
Let's talk about the timing. The father sees him while he's still a long way off.
Which means he was watching. He was waiting.
He must have been. Waiting, hoping, and then he runs.
Yeah, let's break that down. Our sources stress how, for a respected older man in that culture, running was just, it was humiliating, it was undignified.
Completely. He was breaking every social code, and he was doing it to absorb the shame that his son should have been facing. The son should have been met by an angry village, but the father runs out to get to him first. His love is just more important than his reputation.
It's this incredible moment of interrupting grace. He gets to his son, embraces him, kisses him, and the son barely gets his confession out.
The father cuts him off. He won't even let him get to the part about becoming a servant.
He refuses to even hear it.
It's as if he's saying, your identity was never up for negotiation. The restoration is immediate. It's total. There's nothing to earn. You just have to show up.
And then come the items. The robe, the ring, the sandals. These aren't just gifts, right? They're deeply symbolic.
They're legal declarations. The best robe signifies honor. Cover the shame of the pigsty. It's public reinstatement.
The ring.
That's authority. The signet ring. It means he has his full legal status back. He can do business in the family name again.
And the sandals are so important.
So important, because servants went barefoot. Only sons wore sandals. It's a clear statement. You are a son, not a hireling. You are free.
And it all climaxes with this huge party, a feast, music, dancing. And the father gives the reason. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.
In that line, that is heaven's perspective on repentance. It isn't a grudging, okay, you can come back. It's an explosion of joy.
It's an amazing scene. But the story isn't over. And this is maybe the most challenging part. We meet the older brother.
Right. And our sources are clear that his struggle, while it's quieter and more subtle, is just as dangerous.
So he's coming in from the fields. He hears the party, and he just refuses to go inside.
He's angry. He confronts his father, and in that moment, you see this profound sickness in his heart.
He doesn't say, I'm so glad my brother is back.
Not even close. He says, look, all these years I've been slaving for you. I never disobeyed, and you never even gave me a goat to celebrate with my friends.
He pulls out a ledger.
A complete ledger. It's all transactional. I worked. I obeyed. I deserve. You owe me. His obedience wasn't about love. It was about earning.
So he was physically close to the father this whole time.
But emotionally, relationally, he was in a distant country of his own. He was an heir who had the mindset of a servant. It's a tragedy.
And the father's response to this bitterness is so gentle.
Incredibly gentle. He doesn't get angry. He just says, my son, you are always with me and everything I have is yours.
Which is such a crucial line. What was the older son missing?
He missed everything. He didn't need to be given a goat. The entire herd was already his. His joy wasn't limited by his father's generosity, but by his own scorekeeping, his own resentment. He was living in a palace, but starving himself spiritually.
So the big realization here is that you can do everything right on the outside. You can be moral, obedient, and still be completely lost on the inside.
That's the powerful warning. You can be lost in the pig pen, or you can be lost in the field right next to the Father's house. Both are forms of being lost.
So if we bring all three characters back together, what's the ultimate takeaway from these sources?
I think first we have to see ourselves in this story. You know, sometimes we're the younger son chasing things that leave us empty.
And sometimes we're the older son trapped by comparison and bitterness.
Exactly. But the constant character is the Father. His response is never based on our performance, only on our return.
So the core lessons are
that no failure is final, that grace is not earned, it's just given, and that our identity is restored by love, not defined by our mistakes. The Father meets us with open arms, not a checklist.
And this brings us to the very end of the parable. The father is now outside, pleading with the older son, just like he ran to the younger one.
All right, the party is still going on inside, and this is where Jesus just leaves it hanging. He intentionally doesn't finish the story.
We never find out if the older son goes in.
We never find out.
Yeah.
And that open question is aimed directly at you, the listener. The invitation to grace, to the celebration, is always open.
The choice is whether you'll walk into that feast or whether you'll stand outside, clinging to your pride, your record, your resentment.
The deepest question the material leaves us with is just that. The choice to join the feast. Well, it remains yours.
Thank you for sharing your sources with us. This has been a fascinating deep dive into a timeless story. We hope this knowledge serves you well.